rock and roll world. Can't get off this train I'm riding on. It's not the fame or the girl.
Yeah, I don't think it was a chemical imbalance.
No, we were just born like this.
Dan Egan teaches sailing in Boston during the summer, and his brother John's a contractor in Sugarbush, Vermont.
February 28, 1990, we skied
The Berlin Wall.
for freedom,
For peace.
righteousness,
For love.
and the good of the East German people.
Hey, I'm Dan.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm John.
The Egan brothers.
We're Siamese twins, attached, soul.
Last winter, we traveled the world, wide and wide.
I remember the late great winter of '88. Wasn't that good a ski season in the East. And you came home from work one day, we were living together, and I said, geez, Dan, how was your day? And you said, it was great, best day of work yet, I quit. You're next, we're leaving tomorrow morning.
That was
Dan and I were in
it.
Squaw, what, 72 hours later?
Yeah, we were there. We just packed up the van and moved to Squaw Valley, and
Right.
we were out there, and everything was happening out there.
Hot skiers like Robbie Huntoon, the Egan brothers, John and Dan, and Eric de Lorey, who all like to ski the Palisades. Before I ski down, I'd like to say hello to my kid sister in Vermont. Hi, sis. And now I want you to watch very closely, because a cornice as big as a 3-story apartment house is going to break off. That 100-ton block of ice and snow fell 1,000 feet before it hit the first time. Fortunately, without either of the Egan brothers. Let's take another look at Gary Nate's 1 in a million shot with an instant replay in slow motion, so you can watch Dan knock down the cornice in front of John. Now. Then John stems and somehow manages to turn, but he's only skiing on air. Touches the snow just long enough to jump for his life the second time. He's finally back on the snow, gets his heart out of his mouth, and makes turns as though nothing had happened.
Ever since I can remember, we've been jumping off things. Back home where we grew up, we used to pile snow up on the picnic table and jump over our driveway when we were kids. My mother was always telling us not to jump on the furniture with our ski equipment on, that sort of thing. We've always taken skiing as far to the edge as our ability would allow us.
Today's hot skiers, like the Egan brothers, can make link turns down a powder snow slope and casually get 80 feet of air and never miss a turn.
Dan Egan is a tremendous cinematographer and a really outstanding skier. But Dan, show me this hat. New Hampshire?
New Hampshire, I love it.
But you're a Vermonter.
Well, that's where I learned to ski, Bob. It's in New Hampshire. Waterville, Loon, Cannon, Bretton Woods. I love it back there.
Some people do anything for a buck, won't they?
Yeah.
Now tell me, you've got a new video out called Return of the Shred-Eye. And we've got some footage on that from Romania. And it looked like it was pretty wild there.
It was great. We flew into Bucharest. We took an 8-hour train ride into the Transylvanian Alps. We saw Dracula's castle, his grave, and we ripped it up. It was pretty fun.
You also seem to have found a lot of snow.
Well, when we first got there, it hadn't snowed in 8 weeks in Romania.
Wow.
But then by the 5th day, we had a little storm. On the 7th day, we had some more snow. And then it dropped 1.5 feet, and the whole place came alive, and we hit the trees. It was excellent.
It beats working, right?
Yeah, it beats the hell out of working.
To experience a Turkish slide, John and Dan Egan, along with cameraman Tom Grissom, flew to Istanbul and took a boat ride across the Sea of Marmara to Bursa to get to the city of Uludağ. They advertise Uludağ as the Aspen of Turkey. And when in Turkey, do as the Turks do. Rent a horse, someone to guide it, and a wagon to ride on. Dan and John are from Boston, using skis made in Austria, Italian ski boots, wearing Japanese goggles, underwear made in Georgia at a ski resort in Turkey, trying to ride a ski lift that was made in France and had been broken by a helicopter made in Russia. which proves that skiing really is a way of life that knows no international or economic boundaries.
It's our passion, you know, it's our meditation. We get into it, we're relaxed.
The Turkish people have lived in these hollow rock pinnacles for over 2,000 years, and none of them have ever learned to rip it up in powder snow like John and Dan. John and Dan Egan spent a week just getting here from Boston, 4 hours climbing this peak, and they carved up this turkey shoot for the first time in recorded history.
I started competing on the World Pro Mogul Tour in 1988 after I graduated from Babson, and took it for 3 years on the World Pro Mogul Tour. I started filming for Warren Miller in 1985.
Come over here. Check this out. Dan Egan's got a job. Executive director. Let's go get him. Hi.
Can I help you?
Yeah, Dan Egan here.
We need to take him. No, he's in the middle of a major project. You gotta go. Yes, Dan.
Yeah.
Time to go skiing.
I want to do
Give me the phone.
Dan Egan has skied in a lot of our movies in such places as Russia, Romania, Turkey, Chile, Yugoslavia, as well as all over Europe and North America.
Let's go.
Here's Dan Egan in knee-deep snow. See how he constantly bounces off his skis as he springs from turn to turn.
Now the Egan brothers have been joined by two other brothers. No, not these two guys. These are my pals. They've been joined by the Delory brothers. They're traveling all over the United States, putting on clinics for people who want to be extreme skiers. Of course, a lot of those people aren't all that great. And one of the tips that Dan Egan gave right away is know you're extreme. And I can't emphasize that once again enough. Know what you can do.
Many years ago, skiing showed some style. Alone on the white sheet, it only lasted a while. Commercialism hit us, quasi-skiers thrive. Ski tech took us over, and longboards took a dive.
What makes us extreme is that it's our life. That we've made skiing steeps and cliffs and things our life. This is our office is outside most of the time.
Constantly people are asking me, when you're going to get a real job and this and that, and I would never ever miss out on the opportunity to spend time with my brother on snow doing things that we love.
The town centers around a church that was built 500 years ago. And there were only 3 Americans in town to ski. Brothers John and Dan Egan from Sugarbush, Vermont, and Zuri Risek. It's a little like skiing used to be. And wait till they find out I sent them to the sewer plant. John and Dan Egan can tell you what it's like to ski all over the world for our cameras.
All I really remember about first seeing a Warren Miller movie was crying in line, waiting for my older brother John, and there I was, exposed to a whole new world.
To be able to ski with my brother Dan is almost like a fighter jet with a wingman. You know each other, you trust each other, and you just go with it.
I've seen people make turns in Russia, Chile, Switzerland, and France, and the basic technique of skiing really is the same all over the world.
And the biggest part of their turn is the smile on their face.
Yeah, it's the people making the turns.
Yeah.
That's what's the nicest part. See you out there.
Come on out with us. We're there. Thanks, Warren.
And I'll end this segment like I end a day of skiing. Not with one last run, because there's always one tomorrow. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is my run tomorrow.